I feel compelled. I'm adding a fourth sleeper pick, but it's a big sleeper pick, as in it's a collection. I actually think if you're a deep fantasy team and you really have to make some choices in the free agent wire, or you have to really think about your last couple of roster slots. I'd almost say any of the top 10 rookies this season have sleeper potential. So I've already
Ooh,
mentioned Reed Shepard as
ooh.
one, but the reason why I'm saying that is because everyone collectively agrees this wasn't a good draft. There is no superstar. But we know from history that one of them has to win Rookie of the Year, and whoever does win Rookie of the Year is going to have,
Ugh,
hold
ugh.
on, one of them is going to have a better season. Michael Carter Williams comes to mind, right? Wins his
Malcolm
Rookie of the
Brogdon.
Year. Yeah, and Malcolm Brogdon win the Rookie of the Year. But those stats that they won them on, you're talking about 15, 8, and 7. They'll give you good stats. And when you look at I'm looking at our free agency pile currently. So we're talking about rookies that we could pick up right now. Alex Saar, Washington. Yes, everyone's not very on him, but here's his first preseason game: 15 points, 6 of 8 shooting, 3 from 4 from three, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and a block in just 22 minutes. That's not bad because he's going to play more than 22 minutes in the season, but low rostering. You look at someone like Rob Dillingham, who's going to come off the bench for Minnesota, potentially could take over Mike Conley's spot. He had 21 and 4 assists in 25 minutes, so there's potential there as well. I've obviously went with the number one pick, right? Rasher, Zachary Rasher, as you're going to learn his name as time goes on. I have hopes that he can do something for me, and I've only went with that because of the number one pick. You've got Donovan Clegane, who's also on our waiver wire, who has 2 block potential, along with 10 points and maybe 6, 7 rebounds. I think the rookies from this class, no one's going to be actively like not most of them won't be rostered. Only a quarter of the time they'll be rostered.
Look,
But
I. Uh,
they all, what I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying it is because everyone is going to do what I did, and they're going to pick players like Alex Caruso and Lou Dort and Chris Port because we know them.
yeah,
We
yeah.
know them. But there is a chance that any of those rookies could have better stat lines than those players. They're so unproven, or we don't know.
I
And we don't know what those teams are going to shape out to be.
we got to pick three sleepers. You wanted to pick the whole top 10 rookie class here for 2024. I'm going to give you two pieces of comments from my side, okay? I brought up the draft list, okay, for 2024 just to refresh my memory, okay? I think the first part here is that short of Zach Eady, taken at number 9, none of these kids are projected to start. And I think they're going to play behind vets, yeah, and vets in different roles and things like that. And it wouldn't be shock horror if we had a rookie of the year winner that had Malcolm Brogdon sort of stats. I don't think Malcolm Brogdon even averaged 10 points a game and he won rookie of the year. Okay, it wouldn't be shock horror. Look, maybe the difference of the league now is that it's a high scoring league, so hitting 12 or 13, 14 points might be more feasible from a from a speed pace perspective and possession perspective compared to Malcolm Brogdon's rookie year. True, okay, but from that sort of perspective, it wouldn't be shock horror that no one really jumps out and smashes rookie of the year. That said, is the other note that I talked about earlier when you were talking about this Zachariah. What did you say his surname?
Rushier.
Yeah, I swear I had this issue with Wembenyama. That took me like a good 6 months to get all his syllables correct too. But is that the players as a rookie don't come on strong traditionally until the last say 20 games. Yeah, and same like Scoot Henderson, and injuries was a part of that issue too. Okay, same like Brandon Miller sort of turned the corner in the new year. Okay, grabbing Brandon Miller last year at the start of the season and riding him for the first 3 4 months, of the the end of the year, that was sort of a painful experience. Yeah, you probably didn't want to do that. Grabbing Brandon Miller on the last sort of month of play, okay, when the Charlotte are clearly out of contention, Brandon Miller, let's give him some more minutes, see what he can do, shutting down some of the vets already. Let's look at all our young players pieces. I think that was when his numbers sort of had a bit of an uptick. I think that's the reality of many of these players here. Okay, I would definitely not be targeting them at this point of the season. Keep an eye on them by all means, absolutely. By the time you hit, say, All Star weekend, who and which teams are in a position to play these rooks some more? Now you make your moves for
Well,
some of these names.
see, I'd like to chime in and say that if we had 4 more players in our league, we have some of these players picked on our teams because you have to, right? The free agency wire for us is still pretty good. I'm looking at players like DeAndre Ayton, Jordan Poole, Clint Capella, Bobby Portis, Tyus Jones. That's they're good players just to sub in if someone gets injured. But if you're in a deep league, you do have to make these kind of gambles.
Yep,
But
yep,
also,
agreed.
I understand what you're saying about riding out a bad stint. We talked about it in one of the other pods. Last fantasy, I was winning a lot. I could have made these kind of risky moves and held on because let's say, for example, I had Brandon Miller at the end of the season instead of Paolo Banchero. Perhaps I'm better off, right? Even though Paolo's stats are clearly better, maybe when it needs to be, e.g., the finals time, because that's when rookies do play more too. In finals for fantasy, it's actually the end of the regular season where seeds are established and stars start to rest.
Like Wemby got shut down
That's
for you, I think.
Wemby got shut down for me for the last game. So there's those kind of considerations to make with rookies who can clearly start to show out at the end of the season. You saw Scoot have a bigger end of the season. I think they're considerations that you make because if you are winning your categories, if you've got a 5 advantage lead over this, and you're looking at, say, Clingain, and you're seeing, wow, he really is actually averaging 2.3 blocks a game, and he's still there on the agency wire. Maybe you just take him. Maybe you take him because you can strengthen a category that's not as strong for you, or you double down on a category that you are winning, or maybe you look at someone like Rob Dillingham and you say, "Wow, he's actually like shooting really well from threes, and that's something that I need." That's why they're my sleeper picks.
I think I think Rob Dillingham is one of the picks here in the top 10 that I've seen on some drafts, or some leagues, sorry, that people have started to grab him off the free agency pile. I think he had a hot preseason game, I don't know, 19 points or something like that, I think, and everyone's jumping on him right now. Look, I think it's too early. Yeah, I think it's way too early to make. If anything, I've learned for all the years of playing fantasy, unless you have a generational talent, Wembanyama, Chet, Jar back in the day, etc., etc., don't grab them so early. Wait and see. Wait and see. Yeah, there's always veteran production that matches what a rookie might give you, whereas a vet will guarantee you. And maybe that is probably the last piece of advice I'll give here is that you go with guaranteed production versus the flyer. Please play your rookie week 1 for me.
You got to be in it. You got to take a risk. Okay, you got to be in it to win it.